Heather Boo.
Hi.
Welcome to Books with Boo.
Thanks. Thanks, Boo.
So today, JD is working, so he doesn't get to do the intro with us. But we are drinking Sierra Nevada's Summerfest Lager.
Yes.
So
It's a light one. JD, thank you, Boo, for picking this out since you know I'm more of a light beer drinker.
Cheers.
Cheers. Greatly appreciate you, Boo. Oh, I do like that.
It does taste very Summerfesty.
Yeah. Sorry for my mouth noises. You have to taste it, guys. It's a palate.
You have to taste it. Okay. So today we're doing Tower of Dawn Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Spoilers. Yes. So
Spoilers. Creepy things.
Yeah. Oh, yes. So shall we start off with saying that Part 2 is way better than Part 1?
It is. And even though it's still my least favorite book, this Part 2 is better. There's more
so
that
much.
happens. It's not just Chaol's getting healed. And there's so much that happens.
There is. But we also needed Part 1 to get to this.
We did.
But yes, it is beautiful. So
I was making sure I had my notes right.
You sound like me.
Yeah,
All
I was
mine-
like, wait, Tower of Dawn. And then I was like, Aelin. And I said, wait.
Yeah, I started writing all these notes, and then it was just like highlight under with green what I really want to talk about.
Uh-huh.
So
I have a lot of quotes.
me too. Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, so I have two things for Nesryn that I really want to talk about.
Okay. What's the first one?
So the welcome home.
Yes.
So the first time Nesryn hears it is from, well, maybe she did from Sartak, but she heard it from Borte when she was.
You say Borte? I just call her Bort.
It's okay. We know who we're talking about.
Exactly.
She hears it from Borte, and then she continues to hear it when she was helping Sartak warn all the Rukin riders about the storm coming. And they would ask who she was, and then she'd explain, and they'd be like, welcome home.
Yes. Which
And-
is a little foreshadowing as well.
And I think it's just beautiful because she does feel home. Like you said, that is her Terrasen.
Yeah, it
So-
is. And she, I think even if not in this part, in the first part, she feels more home here, which we knew
Yeah.
and everything. And I like I said in the previous recording, this is her Terrasen and she's able to explore it. And honestly, she probably thought she never would be able to,
Oh, no.
especially with like her position and traveling and being, if she would be welcome and so on and so forth. Yes, she has family there, but like in general.
Well, there was even a part in, I think, Part 1, I could be wrong, where she was saying that her sister would get mad on her behalf when she was skipped over for promotions and raises.
Yeah.
So if you think
she's a
about that,
woman.
yeah. But if you think about that, she doesn't have the money or the funds to even travel there probably.
Exactly. And then what kind of welcome would she receive as like a soldier? I'm just not even going to put in her title of like captain of the guard or anything, but like a soldier of the territory of the North. Like how would she be welcomed there?
Well, I wonder if she would actually say that if she went back to visit.
Yeah, but I'm sure her family friends know. Like,
Probably.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, probably. I mean, her aunt and uncle's friends. they're
Yeah.
like, oh, our niece, she's a guard. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, like they brag. Like everyone
Yeah.
knows JD's a brewmaster. So if they know him from his beard and he's a
Oh my
brewmaster.
gosh. When he shaved his beard, I could take him to the grocery store without 20 people stopping us. So it was nice.
Do you want him to shave his beard? JD, shave your beard again.
No, I like it either shaved like close to the face or super long. So
Yes.
I'm fine with it. However, he's happy. But one thing about that is like after that, she was training with the arrow.
Yes.
And before Sartak came and got her and said his Hearth Mother had arrived, she had been smiling,
Mm-hmm.
like smiling.
Actually smiling.
Yeah, not a fake one. So her being home and actually being with people like her whose interests are like hers makes a big difference.
It does. And I want to touch on the arrow piece for a little bit. I just thought it was interesting because previously we had talked about parallels And now she's teaching / learning the different ways as well.
Yes.
But is also living up, like very much part of Nesryn's story in this is she's living up to her living legend story, which I'm like, yeah.
Definitely when she did pick the mark.
3, yeah.
And then she did head, heart, and wherever it was.
Like stomach or something like that.
And all 3 of the dummies, not just one each, but she did it.
Like,
and it was all so close together. It was like that.
Yeah, I think it said it was like an inch apart. And I was like, dang. Lucky I can shoot a pew sometimes.
I know. The second thing about her I want to talk about.
Yeah.
And we can definitely talk about her more, but these are the 2 main ones I wanted to, is Saki, the riderless ruck.
Yes.
I feel like he is a mirror of Nesryn, just in animal form.
Yeah.
Because he was lonely and he stayed where he knew.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as she approached him, aka Sartaq approached her.
Yeah. He's starting to be like, who are you?
And he became her. It wasn't very much gone over in the book, but I feel like I feel like it mirrored her because she was so lonely, even though she had people surrounding her.
Yeah, and they did hint it at one point in I forget which chapter. Somewhere, one of these chapters. But the fact that even when it gets to the point where she rides him, it's because of her family.
Yeah.
Because they get back. We're not going to get into that because we'll get into that a little bit later. They get back and she realizes she receives word from her uncle 2 weeks ago because they've been gone for 6 weeks.
Yep.
And everything. And she's like, oh crap, I need to get there as fast as possible. And what does she do? She goes immediately to this rock and they're like, yep, we're doing it, and flies straight to her aunt and uncle's house.
Oh, I love it. I love, we will get there, but I love like the description of all the kids, all the nieces and nephews.
And I told you so.
Yeah. I told you, father. But the kids just like jumping on the ruck's back and they just let it happen. Okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah,
later.
we'll get to that. Well, I was like, I don't want to get to like what their return just yet.
Yeah. So,
and I did say just to in chapter 37, I noted this because this is where the chapter that she sang for them.
I have that written down.
Yeah. So my note was she's changing in a good way to not really remember life before. And she said, like, I'm not really wanting to remember, or I remember life before, but I'm not wanting to go back to it.
Yes.
And so this is her taking steps consciously, subconsciously to not.
I'm so excited about that you brought this up. Like, okay, that chapter 37 starts off with her feeling settled, even though they're waiting for Falcon to heal.
Yes.
So they can go to the other 3 watchtowers.
Yes.
But she doesn't want to go back to life. And then when Hulin, I'm probably saying her name wrong, Hulin, the Hearth Mother, asks for stories from Ardalin, she's like, I don't have any. I had stories of you all growing up.
Yeah.
But I can sing. And earlier in part 1, she said it was a mistake to sing for her cousins.
Yeah.
Because they just wanted her to keep singing, and she never sings for anyone.
She doesn't. She didn't even sing back in Ardalin.
Yeah, she would only sing for her family back in Ardalin. So her singing for the Hearth Mother and all the cousins and stuff, that's like her new family because she only sings for her family.
It is. It's very much her family. She only sings for her family and everything. I was a little surprised. Not surprised. This is a Sarah J. Maas critique. I have some critiques of her in this part too.
Oh no.
But I was surprised like she didn't return some of the living legend stories as well. Like I'm very happy she's saying. Yeah. But in my mind, thinking of like, okay, we want these people to join us in war and everything. Like I wanted, like, this is just me, obviously. Never have gone to war. I have family members who are veterans. I've heard stories and everything, but like in my strategic, semi-logical brain, I would think like this would also be the time to tell stories of Aelin and like plant those seeds.
That is true.
And of Adian and of Rowan. plus singing, but just like if we're trying to stir up these allies.
But I think, well, here it is in chapter 35. This was after they came back from the first watchtower.
Yes.
And I think she doesn't tell them stories like that because she knows it's no use because Sartaq is in charge, basically.
Yes.
And so after that first watchtower, Nesryn had said to Sartaq, perhaps you understand why we are so desperate for your father's armies. Sartaq says to be slaughtered. And Nesryn goes, when Erwin is done slaughtering us, he will come to your doorstep next. So I think talking to the, well, not correct, but talking to him because he is reasonable.
Yeah.
Even though I'm sure he would get like pressure from like Borte and all of them.
Yeah.
I think she knows that he's not going to listen to any of them over this matter, and he's going to think what's best for his country and for them.
Which makes complete sense, as one should do as an heir, and thinking of like, sorry, just hit the mic for anyone who hears that, of an heir and anyone thinking about going to war and everything. It's just like, I was reading that back and I was like, I wonder why. It's like, it would have been just a nice opportunity to be like, you want to hear stories? Well, let me tell you about Selena, aka Aelin, and this is why I'm going to follow her.
Or Lysandra. Or
Lysandra.
Yes. I have so much. Well, I don't have so much, but I have stuff written about Falcon. And
I have a couple things written about Falcon. But speaking of chapter 35, are we good with Nesryn before I take us to Falcon?
Yeah, because I'm sure we'll talk about Nesryn some more.
Probably, because we have a whole other part 3 we need to talk to her about. Love things. So in chapter 35, it is revealed. Well, it may be 34. No, it's 34 at the end. Because I even wrote like freaking Falcon shape-shifting turd coming to the rescue.
Yeah, that's the end of 34.
And then immediately Sartaq is like,
he's an assassin.
He's an assassin. He's a spy. And Nesryn's like, dude, no, they're not.
Calm down.
Calm down. She doesn't say it, but we all know she knows a shapeshifter. She knows Lysandra and everything. But like that 2 different take of like, this is what a shapeshifter is. And he did kind of go in sneaky, but the Hearth Mother knew why he was there.
Well, that's probably why she wouldn't tell anyone, because she knows the stigma around.
Which is very interesting when I get the stigma.
Yeah, because they can, I mean, I think it was mentioned earlier in the whole series is that like when Lysandra was revealed, and I'm sorry if you can hear the dog, she wants in.
She misses me.
Yeah, she does.
We're besties.
You are. But like somewhere earlier in the series, when Lysandra's identity or abilities were revealed, Aelin had mentioned, I think it was Aelin, I could be completely wrong, but she had mentioned that shapeshifters were frowned upon because they could be assassins, because they could slip in places unnoticed. I mean, look what happened with Falcon. He was in her breast pocket the whole time in the past.
Yeah. A little mouse?
Yeah, he was a little mouse.
Yeah. I had to think about that for a second. But it's very true. But I was just like, that's not how we know that. Nesryn's even like, no.
Yeah. We like our shapeshifters.
We very much like our shapeshifters. Even when they're family.
Yes. Oh my gosh. But yes, I did think it was nice though when he thought he was going to die. He told Nesryn that, hey, I have a niece. I don't know her name. I don't know what she looks like. This is what I know about her. Her fortune is mine if I die.
Yes.
And that was like page 540 in chapter 49.
Hold on, I'm getting there. Yeah.
And then in chapter 57, Nesryn finally tells him what she suspects once they get back.
Yes, which has him bawling, which I mean, if you think you're the only surviving family member and then you find out you have a potential niece because like Nesryn describes him, she's like, this is my theory. The facts, timing, everything kind of adds up. But, you know, if you want to come with us and we can confirm this, then we can confirm this.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah. He's like, I mean, what do I have to lose?
Okay, if you say so.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, nothing. Sorry. Did you want to say anything else about that?
No, I was just like, it was a nice little family moment.
It was, and I appreciated it a lot.
Especially because Lysandra has been by herself.
She has. And even before she really, truly got with the court, she was so surprised that they came for her when she was taken and she was in that prison wagon. She was like, you came for me.
Yeah. But Aelin was like,
of course we came for you.
Not going to leave you behind. Especially when Evangeline is the one who came in and was like, they took her.
Yeah. I know. You can't say no to her.
No, you really can't.
Speaking of who I feel like no one should be able to say no to.
Oh.
Farasha.
That stubborn horse.
Farasha means butterfly.
And she's the complete opposite.
But it's so funny. I love this horse, even though it's a fictional. I love this horse.
I would, if I was a horse person, I've never ridden a horse. I've always wanted to ride a horse, like that kind of thing.
I will say the only time I rode a horse when I was a kid, it got itch on its side and my knee was in the way of the tree in its side. So it got kind of scraped up and it terrified me, but I still love horses.
That's fair.
It just had an itch.
It had an itch. Animals have itches, okay?
And I was too young and stupid to move my leg.
You didn't know any better.
But in chapter 43, page 485, Chaol describes Farasha as if she'd been forged in Hellas's burning realm. That's foreshadowing because who else is described as being guided by Hellas?
Lead. No.
Lorcan.
Yeah, Lorcan. Sorry, I was like that couple, but I'm saying the wrong name.
Yeah. So I just wanted to point that out.
Which we'll get more into in the next book. But
next book for sure.
Speaking of chapter 43, just a little segue.
I like segues.
This is one of my freaking Sarah J. Maas critiques because she did it to us for this book too. But like in chapter 42, it ends with like the hatchling being a trap and Nesryn and Sartak are fighting against and everything.
Oh my
and then we immediately go to Chaol and I'm like, what the hell?
Well, she does that to build suspense. So you're just like, I have to get back to the hatchling.
But I'm like, ah.
So just saying the hatchling, I'm sorry, that made me hate however you say it. Hold on, I got this. Karankui even more. There's the
spider bitches.
The spider bitches, yes. Hate them even more. The way it was described as this fuzzy little thing, this hatchling, and then
baby.
Spoilers, a freaking claw goes through its spine and it's taken away. And I'm like,
and they've been stealing hatchlings.
Birds. I know, they're like eating them.
I know, it's so sad. Also, that's just another nice little segue. These spider bitches is the other reason why I don't like this book. Because if there's two things I don't do, it's spiders and snakes. And so that they're so prevalent in this part, I'm like, ugh. I was like, okay, the spiders are here. Do.
Well, especially how she described their webs and when it was like around Nesryn and Sartak, how it cut their skin.
Yes.
Because it was so sharp, even though it was silk.
And it's like, shiny.
Yeah. I got something.
Ooh, what you got?
So, the quote, get up. Marley, can you sit?
She's okay.
She's like, no, I must sniff my friend.
The quote, get up.
Yeah. So, it's a major quote in all the books.
Yes, it is.
It started with Chaol saying it to Aelin in Throne of Glass when she was fighting Cain. It went to Wendelin when Rowan was training her. And then when Aelin was going through the Valg Prince's memories that they brought up in her.
Yeah.
And throughout the book, you see it's mentioned here and there. So the pivotal point where it was mentioned here in Tower of Dawn was when Chaol was in a foul mood after being forcibly removed from the Khagan's office.
Yes.
And Yrene hadn't seen him like that in weeks. And this is chapter 38. And he says he wants to fight shoulder to shoulder with his men. So Yrene says, then get up.
Yeah.
Because he's taking all his emotions out and he was itching for a fight. And then she baits him into walking.
Yeah.
Because he can't see And because he can't see another person walk away from him, like Dorian, Aelin, and Nesryn, that's what propels him to follow her when he thinks he hurts her so badly.
Yes.
Even though she knew when he said a bad thing to her that he was talking about himself.
Exactly. And then even the quote is, right before he took the step, he had let them all go, had walked out himself too, but with Aelin, with Dorian, with Nesryn, he had let them go, and he had not gone after them. But that woman backing towards the door, ... like with the tears in her eyes. And I think even the quote continues on. I didn't write the whole quote because it's a long quote.
Yeah,
the quote
it was long.
continues on to say, like it's the most beautiful sight he's ever seen or something like that. Complimenting how like she's got this fire in her, there's some tears in her eyes and everything. But like then he takes that step and
she keeps moving around the room and
they're
he follows
doing a
her.
dance. Yes. Which is a little foreshadowing because like they've been dancing around each other.
They have.
For all of part 1.
Yeah.
And up to now of part 2. So like the fact that then they describe it as like she's walking around and it's like a dance for them, for him to continue walking to chase her in a way.
And he does chase her.
Yeah. And gives her a big smooch.
Yeah. What was that? Their first kiss?
Yes.
Yeah. First kiss.
It's when things start getting heated.
It does. But one thing I do want to also mention from that fight that they had. Yeah. She calls out what you had said about Nesryn last episode. And it was, Yrene had said, yes, you had her in your bed talking about Nesryn.
Yeah.
But I think she was likely a distraction and sick of it. Perhaps sick of being a consolation prize.
Mm-hmm. Which...
Just wanted to bring that back to what you said last episode.
Yes. Well, and it's just like right before that, she says, I may not be a warrior waving a sword about, may not be worthy of your glorious tales, but at least I save lives, not end them.
Yep. Bam. She had some zingers in this fight.
She did. I think this was like, and we've seen them go tit for tat and everything, but this is one of their first like, okay, I don't want to say first like, but it was very much like I'm sick of your foul mood. I'm calling your ass out.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
And it's a bolden step for her and their relationship, because even later on in the book, after they've gotten together and Yrene is like, so what am I to you, basically? Like if I return home, how am I returning?
Yeah.
And the quote is something along the lines of, as long as I can yell at you when you're doing something stupid or something like that. And he's like, I know just the position.
I know. And then
wifey.
Well, it all works out for sure. But I think an important thing to note about Yrene and Chaol is when they were at the Torre, and this was like chapter 32, she had noted that he was more eager to adapt to his surroundings. And then he was about to leave the Torre when Yrene asked him to stay for dinner, not out of fear for the hunter, because they had been talking about him, but because she wants to spend time with him.
Yeah.
And he suggested going out. And Chaol had never been to a meal to just enjoy it, just to act as Chaol.
Yeah.
And this is the first time that he spoke about Brullo.
Yeah.
And he looked at it as like, I could honor Brullo's legacy by speaking of him.
Yeah.
And the reason he spoke about him was because Yrene was joyful. She was excited to hear about his history.
Yeah.
And that was the start of him really opening up more so than what he very limitedly, limited did.
The breadcrumbs that he's been dropping.
Yeah. Thank you. He did only a tiny bit of opening up in part 1. And this is the beginning of him actually doing so. And then on the ride home, he felt light.
He did. And it was the first time he's felt that way in a long time. Well, he even said, the quote that I wrote down for that chapter, there were a lot of quotes, I will say, that I liked in part 2.
Me too. Me too.
And everything. And it says, maybe you and I will have to learn how to live if we survive this war.
Yeah, because neither of them lived. They just go hard every day.
I said they were married to their work.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. She definitely is.
Yeah, they're married to the work and both fighting these demons in their own respects and everything, but they're like, oh.
That is true. After that, though, chapter 36, Chaol would not swear on Yrene's life because he's seen the terrible things Aelin has done to protect those she's loved.
So before we dive into that, Hussar is a shit stirrer in this part. That's the first thing I wrote about chapter 36. Yeah. And it's just a little bit. It's where Hussar's like, oh, by the way, you were right about Skull's Bay, and here's what I found out and everything.
Oh, she's a conqueror. Oh, how's your past lover? How do you think your past lover's doing? Drops that bombshell on poor Yrene.
Yeah.
But that's why he told Hussar that Aelin would not turn conqueror.
No.
And then she's like, would you bet Yrene's life on that? And he's like, no.
Which leads to a little bit foreshadowing, because then I wrote after that, because I was like, Yrene being livid on behalf of Chaol for the attack by Hussar and Argoon. That's how I say his name.
Yeah, Argoon.
Argoon. He's an asshole, really, but Argoon.
Yeah, he's the worst sibling.
He is the worst of them all. Honestly, he's more punchable than Chaol in this book.
He is.
But I wrote down, and I'll get into this a little bit later when we talk about it. I still hate that Chaol is still doubting Aelin. And I put doubting in quotation marks. And I said, fucker, but shows what healing he needs to do. He hasn't had to survive like Aelin has, but still passes judgment like the royals.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Can we talk about that really fast?
Absolutely.
Like, okay. Sir, during his last healing, chapter 55, he is going, his memories are basically popping up.
Yeah, let's talk about this.
He sees Aelin appear.
Yes.
And I want to say that Aelin and Rowan mirror Chaol with Yrene.
Yes.
Because he said she had come to Rowan soul limping. Mm-hmm. She had come to him as she had never been with anyone. And she had returned whole. He finally understands Aelin, that she had promised things, but she had changed. The path had changed. That was page 569. Like him with Nesryn, then Yrene. And then, I don't know, it's just like he finally realizes I came as I was, basically, just like Aelin came as she was to Rowan.
Yeah.
But me to Yrene, and she looked at me with not 1 ounce of pity. And I understand, because I changed, Aelin changed. I cannot be mad at her for that.
No. Well, and when I first read this, I was surprised that the anger towards Aelin was the last thing that needed to get banished, so to speak, for him to heal.
Technically, right after that, Dorian showed up.
But it was a big chunk of Aelin.
Yeah. It was huge. It was mostly Aelin.
It was mostly Aelin. And at first, when I first read this, I was like, bro, move on.
Like, his father was a glimpse. Then it's Aelin.
And then a little bit of Dorian.
Yeah. Come here, Mar.
She's okay.
She hears the thunder.
So she's going to be popping up. It's okay.
She usually hides under my Papa Sun chair in my bedroom. So she has no chair in here to hide.
No. Do we need to make you Auntie Heather will make you a fort. Hold on.
No, she's okay as long as she gets pets.
But I was just like, when I first read that, I was like, dude, why? Like, I thought you've done all this healing. Up until now, he's actually defended Aelin in a couple things that we haven't gotten to. And ever even been like, plot twist about what I know about Aelin to the royals.
Well, he can defend her, but still deep down have issues with her.
Oh, yeah.
But the fact that it did run so deep.
It ran so deep. And at first I thought it was anger. But I honestly, until that soul part, I thought it was jealousy and envy and all of that, because
I think it's a little bit of all that.
He hadn't, up until Yrene, he hadn't been able to go to somebody so soul limping and be accepted.
Well, because everyone else knew him before.
Yeah.
And they knew of his mistakes, and all she knew was that he was a man of Ardalin.
Yeah.
And she had, you're in a chair? so what? I've seen other people in chairs.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Yeah. And like, he had to let it go. I'm going to channel my Elsa, let it go. But like that he couldn't, he was hanging on to how she changed. And even how you even mentioned it, Nesryn changed. To grow, one must change.
Yep.
For the better, I may add.
That's true.
And everything. So like to be mad at her until up until now, and us not really knowing.
Yeah.
Like
not
we
knowing
knew
the depth.
Yes. We knew in the previous books, like how annoyed and how like, I say annoyed in the sense of he was like, I can't trust you.
Yeah.
And everything. But like for it to go as deep as it did.
It was deep.
I was very surprised
It was
when
pages.
I read this.
Yeah.
It was paragraphs.
Well, one thing I do want to say is after that, and this is chapter 59, Hussar walks in on Chaol and Yrene after he's been healed.
Yeah.
And shares that Maeve's Armada, Maeve's Armada and Aelin's allies have shown up.
They've shown up. And only a little bit. She only mentioned her cousin and then the desert assassins.
Yeah. Well, she did mention that wyverns were seen fighting with Aelin.
Yes.
So that gave that too. But then Hussar says, it seems like people believe in what she's selling and what she tried to sell me. And then they asked what.
And she was like, she wrote me.
A better world.
Yeah. And she was like, she wrote me weeks ago. And I really want to be like, Hussar, then why are you being such a turd? Also, quick little squirrel. Found out a couple of my aunts and uncles listen to this.
Oh, yeah.
Pardon my language.
Yeah, sorry. Sometimes potty mouth comes out.
Love you, Uncle B.
Love you, aunt and uncles.
They were actually up here this past weekend and we went and had dinner with them. They're like, oh, so this podcast. And I was like, I've said so many things.
It's okay.
But they're like, you're so knowledgeable. We're going to keep watching. I'm like, thank you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. But I'm like, oh.
That makes me feel so good. It's like, oh, I've adopted another aunt and uncle. Like, even though I haven't met them.
But I was just like, of all the cussing, it's fine. It's fine.
Well, isn't it like
they have a 16-year-old, so it's fine.
Oh, yeah. Oh gosh.
But before, I'm gonna go back just a little bit.
Yes. Please go.
So chapter 55, I'm going to kind of take us a little bit away before we circle back into the news that Hussar brought, because I do want to go into in this part 2. Okay.
Yes.
I think Chaol and Hussar had battle of like, well, I know this, you don't know this kind of thing.
Especially the Rowan part.
Yes,
okay, sorry.
I do want to go into that. But before we go into that, chapter 55 very much is like where Chaol gets healed, ultimately, okay? There's still a little kernel, but I think one of the big themes that we've talked about in part 1 is that both of them have been healing, Yrene and Chaol and everything. So going back to Aelin, Chaol, before he came to the tour and everything, was like, what if we go on only 2 more pain and despair?
I have that written down.
Yes, and Aelin responded to him and said, then it is not the end.
Yeah, but he also said that as if she had understood, had smiled at his questions, as if
he hadn't found his pit.
Yeah, as if he hadn't found his pit. And literally, he finds his pit with Yrene.
He does. And like, I think that's just broadly themed, like talking about life. Like, you have to hit your pit rock bottom before you can pick yourself up. Like, you can pick yourself up as all these challenges, but like to truly heal, pick yourself up and face everything, you have to hit rock bottom. And this was Chaol's rock bottom.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. And it takes him getting there and actually remembering that.
Yes.
To remember his promise to Dorian.
Yes.
And that's what makes him actually fight that little bit of void still left in him.
That's still left in him. And then even Yrene goes on because he's like, what if this comes back? And it's a very long quote, but I wrote down, it will come back, obviously, only if you do not feel it with better things, only if you do not forgive. But if you are kind to yourself, if you love yourself, which going into life, if you're listening, kind to yourself, love yourself.
Yes.
Write those as affirmations every morning. But like, she's like, you can slip back. There's nothing wrong with slipping back into the darkness, into despair and everything. But let's try to do this and replace it with better and be kind to oneself and then love ourselves as well.
And I love that message that she said there because she had realized that she needed to be kind to herself as well.
She did. And she's not only a physical healer, she's an emotional healer.
Yeah, literally. And how she got to that conclusion is she was in the womb.
Yeah.
And she rung her own bell, and it led her to a bell from an ancestor of hers.
200 years ago.
Yeah. Yrene Towers. It was her bell. And it made her understand in that moment that she also had a parasite in her, because that's how she looks at the Valg.
Yep.
But it started the day those Ardalinian soldiers came to her house.
Yeah.
It was anger, pain, despair, all of that. And that was her parasite.
It was. And she was finally able, I think it helped with Chaol humanizing the Ardalin soldiers, of his men at least, of like telling her of like, I had good men underneath me, and like telling her stories of Bureau and everything. I keep wanting to say Bruno. I know that's wrong. Burrow and everything like that. And like telling her what happened to those men and how loyal they were while they were being tortured about him and everything helped humanize the soldiers that she hated.
Well, I also think it showed her that I think she actually stated it, is like not all the soldiers there are bad, and half of them probably do need to be saved.
Yeah.
But the other half are just like me.
Yeah.
Like, and it's true though. There's good people everywhere. It's
there is. You focus on the bad eggs.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there are a lot of bad eggs in life.
There are a lot of bad eggs in life, but also like not knowing. Obviously, we know now, but then she didn't know that they were being controlled by a demon king. And honestly, how many of them were potentially demons while they were doing this?
Probably a crazy amount.
Exactly. Just saying. Not demons. I'm sorry. Princes, demons, whatever you want to call them.
Valg. Just whatever they are.
Evil V people. Can we talk about Hasar and Chaol? Their tit for tat this part. Oh my
gosh, yes.
Too. Okay. Still think Hasar is a bitch. And I wrote that a couple times.
Even though at the end she was nice. But
yes. At the end.
Being just the end.
Probably like the last 2 chapters.
Even though she was kind of nice when she barged in saying a better world.
Yeah.
But
was that nice though?
Okay. Not really. She still barged in.
Yeah. There's this thing called knocking. Knock before you enter. Okay, so where's the first one? If you know it, go for it. But anyways, Hasar and Chaol, they're like, oh, we've heard about all this.
Yeah, Argan.
Yes, Argan.
Is this when they're at the Oasis?
No, this before. This was the one before the Oasis.
They do it all the time.
They do it all the time, but I forget which chapter it is. Hold on.
You're good.
Okay. Yeah, 36. Chapter 36. Because I started with Hasar the shit stirrer. Because she was like, oh, isn't Nesryn supposed to be returning? And Chaol's like,
oh yeah.
Actually, I know more than you know. They're not returning for another 3 weeks.
Well, and that made that whole conversation made Yrene like tense up too.
It did. And then they go into, meaning the prince and princess, go into what happened in Skull's Bay.
Yes.
Where they're like, oh, but we heard this and we heard this. And they were like, she's such power and everything makes her a conqueror. And I'm like, no, she's literally the only person we want in this war against this. But it was like, okay, well, that was one of the tit for tats and everything. And then it goes on to the Oasis.
This is my favorite tit for tat. Okay. Go for it.
So Hasar is being like, maybe Aelin should marry one of my brothers. First of all, I snorted. I didn't laugh. I snorted when I first read that. And he's like, good luck. Chaol is very much good luck. And then he drops the bomb that like, well, she's already got a guy and everything. Uses much nicer words. But then he's like, yeah, she's in love with Rowan and Rowan is in love with her. And Rowan is this Prince Faye dude who nobody wants to go against.
And then they're like Rowan Whitethorn. And then Argan goes white.
Yes,
he's
because like, talk about a living legend. Rowan Whitehorn right there. There are stories and everything. And then very much, I'm all about a woman, like defending herself and everything. But Chaol says, good luck to anyone who tries to go after Rowan Whitehorn. And Hussar is like, why? Because Aelin will burn them? And he's like, no. Rowan can handle his own.
Yeah. Don't mess with Rowan.
No. But it was just one of my favorite, like, boom. Because, you know, Hussar needed to be put in her place.
She did.
And then, of course, Hussar is pushing even more so. They're like, oh, well, Chaol, can't you finagle some story and like make Yrene a duchess so maybe she can then marry my brother, wink, wink. And it's like, dude, Hussar, she doesn't like your brother. Okay. It's been made clear multiple times now, but more power to the sister. And then Yrene's like, I'm so done with your shit. She doesn't say it, but in turn, she's like, I'm so done with this. She shoves the princess into the pool.
Well, that was after she made a comment about Chaol being in a chair. And so she just
like, here's a chair
best
for you.
Scene ever. And then she immediately thinks, oh no, I'm dead.
Yeah. And then like Hussar's lover, it just starts busting out laughing.
Rhaenyra, and then Cashin joined in on the laughter, and they saved her life.
They did.
By laughing.
Because they know how Hussar could be.
Because she's crazy. She's moody. Well, she's not crazy. She's just moody. She's annoying.
And they even say it at Chaol sends it. I think Chaol sends it at the end, one of the end chapters. And he's like, I can't wait for Aiden and Hussar to meet each other.
Holy cow.
Talk about moody.
Aiden and Hussar meeting each other. I don't even remember. Yeah, they do. It's way late though.
Yeah, it is. But then I'm ready for Aelin and Hussar.
I know. I forgot how that goes, but I think it's pretty good. Right.
Yeah.
Right. We'll see when we get there. Oh.
But no, I just thought, I was like, okay, Chaol, thank you for growing a backbone, literally.
Yeah.
Not growing, but you know what I mean. But even that's what Hussar says to Yrene as soon as she gets out of the water of like, about time you grew backbone for yourself.
Yep. Now, do we want to talk about the biggest bombshell in the whole book?
Yeah. I think we need the liquor for this part.
I mean, we got liquor.
But yeah, the biggest bombshell.
So
actually two. But yeah.
Well, I think this is the biggest one.
Oh, it's the biggest one. It was like a big one and then part 2 of a big one.
Yeah. The Karen Kui.
Yeah.
I'm probably still saying that wrong. The spiders. They're handmaidens, and they came through a gate with their Valg queen, who was
Maeve.
Maeve is a Valg queen.
Maeve.
Yeah.
What chapter is that again?
48, and then
I'm getting to that
to
part.
49.
Yeah. Okay.
And then 530 is the beginning of the story, and then page 532 to 535 is the story of Maeve coming over with her handmaidens.
Yes. I do my notes by chapter because Kindle Reader.
Same.
So I'm like, which chapter is that again? Yeah. So Maeve is Vlag.
Yeah.
Of Vlag Queen.
She ripped into the minds of Mab and Mora to make them think they had a third older sister.
That's supposed to rule. And then made herself Fae.
Mm-hmm. And the only thing that Brandon knew she was afraid of was fire.
His fire.
Yep.
Which, so when the spider
telling Nesryn
the story, first of all 3 of the Vlag kings desired Maeve puke.
Yep.
And then I was like, dang, Okay.
Well, she was the only one of a female species with that much power.
Yeah.
That's why they all desired her.
And of course, she married the oldest.
Of course.
But then this goes into the Maas verse. This quote specifically goes into the Maas verse, in my opinion. She, Maeve, had learned of such rips between worlds.
Yes.
A door that could open and close at random, or if one knew the right words.
Yes. And we saw that happen when Aelin wanted to see Nehemia.
Yes.
She knew the right words from that book.
Yes.
But they were word marks.
Yes. But a Maas verse there, because if you've read
The other books.
Crescent City.
Yep.
I had to think about,
Haven't read that in so long. But
I didn't read it for the first time until this year.
really?
I couldn't. Sorry, squirrel. I couldn't. I've been trying. Okay. It was like book 2 of, book 2, Crown of Midnight.
Crown of Midnight, yeah.
Yeah. Where it was just like, I would put it down at around the same spot and just not pick it up. And that was on book 1. And so literally I said, if I'm going to be prepared for the new ACOTAR book and everything
I need to
like
read
that,
it.
I need to read it. So on the beach trip, I literally only allowed myself to download the 3 Crescent City books, which is, for someone who reads a lot, I was reading like an average of book and a half a day on a beach trip normally. And I was like, I've only downloaded 3 for a 10-day trip. What the heck is wrong with me? But my goal was like, no, I'm reading these books. So then, of course, I got through book 1 and I just could not put the next 2 down.
So it's funny because I liked book 1 way better than book 2 or 3.
I like the end of book 1.
The vacuum is my favorite scene.
I like the end of book 1, but it was just like it got to a certain point where it was like when the angels lighted up, but when like the angels showed up because they're investigating because the murders, I'm like, okay,
yeah, come on,
let's go.
Yeah, I get that. It's just I feel like
it reminded
the
me
beginning.
I
don't know. I just feel like
there was a lot of setup.
Yeah.
If you're struggling to read it, I highly recommend an audiobook version.
Oh, there you go.
But I tell that to any of my people who are struggling to get through. Just throw it on audiobook, 1.5 speed, and you'll get through it.
Yes.
I can listen to 1.5 speed. I'm trying to work up to 1.7.
You got it.
Yeah. Anyways, okay. Sorry, that was my other Sagu. But yeah. So the spiders came with her. They were her beloved handmaidens and were left to guard this specific gate.
Yep.
Until she called upon them again.
Yep.
And then, of course, the brothers found out where she went. So then they follow her and they didn't recognize her because she was Fae at that point.
Yep. She took on a new body.
She took on a new body. She was Fae. But she knew exactly how to fight them. And I wanted to note this because I thought this was very interesting of Maeve in general, that she knew how they fought because she had run the king's war camps.
Yep.
And I was like, Maeve.
We know a lot of it. I mean, if you've read the whole Maas verse, you know where this is going.
And it's like, Yep. Anyways, I was like, okay. But it just made me not getting ahead. No spoilers. Okay. No spoilers.
Okay.
She knows Erwin is around again.
Yeah, she does. She knows.
So does she want all-encompassing power? Why isn't she trying to, partner up with her brother-in-law, former brother, widowed brother? How would you?
Probably brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Ex-brother-in-law.
Because she's technically widowed because she killed her husband.
Well, she sent him back to his world.
Yeah.
So technically. Divorced.
Yeah.
Let's go with divorced. But yeah, she wants power, but she wants to keep her control. She wants to keep her power and maybe get a bit more from the keys from Aelin, but she doesn't want them to know she's her.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. But also that, well, unless do you have more to say?
No, go.
Okay, that leads on to why is the Antica in Doranel the most well-guarded and the best place for healers?
So Doranel's because of Maeve.
Yep.
And it's even said a little bit later on that like she has her healers under lock and key, basically.
Yep.
For lack of a better way to say it, they're caged. They're living in a gilded cage. If not in their owl form.
Yep. There's one that follows her around.
Yeah, in an owl form. In which we see as the form of healers throughout. Like,
well, it's Silba's
symbol, not Simba. I'm also reading Zodiac Academy at the moment. So just finished a prequel. So if you know, you know. But it was very much like, okay. And then these few, I say few because we don't know how many, escaped that.
Yeah. And they planted their seed technically and physically and figuratively
in babies.
Yeah, in the southern continent. So the healers were planted because their powers pass on through their bloodline.
Yes.
And that's also what draws the healers to the southern continent to train because of the Torre. It was established based off of the teachings of those Fae that left Doranel.
Yes. That escaped Doranel. I don't think we should say left. They escaped.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Escaped. But
they escaped.
That makes you think, what does Maeve know about healers that no one else knows? And what did the Fae who bred their powers into the humans know about the Valg?
What is Maeve afraid of that she has to control them that way?
Yeah.
And lock them up that way.
Yeah. Which you will find out more about in
we find out
next
a
book.
Little bit.
Yeah, definitely a little bit.
The way Yrene approaches it, because she approaches it as a parasite.
Yeah, that's how she sees it.
Which, as a healer, that's an amazing way to look at it.
Yeah. Well, did you want to talk about who had a parasite in them and who was hunting Yrene?
In a second. And I say that in a second because this leads into the part 2 bomb. Okay. So we've operated on that there are Vlag kings
and princes.
Princes, excuse me.
Princess.
And now we find out there's princesses.
And queen.
And it's like, oh, well.
Yeah, and there's a princess, a Valg princess inside someone in this book.
Mm-hmm. Duva.
A princess.
A princess within a princess.
Duva.
Yeah, Duva. Our girl. I have to say, I was not expecting the pregnant princess.
Yeah, the first time I read this, yeah. But the second time, well, and the multiple times afterward that I've read this, there's not a lot of clues.
No.
To point to Duva. Except that she's pregnant and she wants to stay home and rest.
Yeah, which I think they even say she's like 8 months pregnant or something like that.
Yeah, she's
far
big.
along.
She's like about to pop.
Yeah, like as all my friends who have been pregnant in this Georgia summer.
Oh gosh, yeah.
They're like, I'm ready to pop. So to being in the desert where they are, I can only imagine. She's probably like, just put me in a pool that makes me not wrinkle and I will be happy.
Oh my gosh, that is so true. That was my cousin. We went for a baby shower and she got in her mom's pool and she's like, it's just so nice.
It's so cool. Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I bet it is.
I bet it is.
Poor thing.
Yeah, you wouldn't. And then honestly, who would expect the pregnant lady?
No one. And then that adds to it is like when she's attacking Chaol and Yrene and Hafiza, it's like, we can't hurt the pregnant lady because she's pregnant. And she's like, a princess, so we can't kill the princess.
As a Vlag princess, that was honestly their smartest move because, like, you can't kill a princess / a pregnant princess.
Yeah, even though the ring almost was, Hassar almost took the ring. She almost took it. So it could have been Hassar.
Could you imagine if she was?
Oh, yeah, that would have been bad. But one thing that is...
Sassiness would have been like a million.
Yeah, it would have been horrible. But the bad thing is like Tumlin. And then Duva was trying to fight inside her body for the princess Valg to not push her sister over that balcony. And she did anyway.
Yeah.
Because Toomlin was the only one that noticed Duva was acting differently.
Yes. So let's backtrack just a smidge.
Yeah,
So,
sorry.
of course, Chaol gets healed and everything. And we're like, yay, you're healed. And then
right away hits his back multiple times with a blast of black power.
because he's saving Yrene, which, yay. But also,
I'd
you
rather her
just
live.
got healed. I was like, I wonder, probably didn't because it wasn't written. Thanks, Sarah J. Maas. But like, I wonder if Yrene at one point was ever like, I just freaking healed your back.
Well, there was a point where it was like all that work gone in in those chapters.
Yeah.
I think both of them thought that.
Yeah.
I think
Because it was like
all that work gone. It was weeks of work.
Yeah, because I would have
pain and
I just
suffering.
pictured her pulling like that mom face where it's like, I just did this.
I just swept the floor.
and now it's a mess. I just picked up your anyways.
Yeah.
But so so then Duva takes the high healer.
Yep. Healer on high.
Excuse me.
Hafiza.
Hafiza. And basically takes her captive because she's like, all right, well, you're healed. I see the things that are happening in the palace. So the tides are turning against. So I got to make a drastic move.
Yeah.
So then they find out even more so about the Fae having tombs down there below the Tor. And the way they wrapped, I just want to note this. There at one point I forget who. So sorry, forget who says this. But at one point they described the Fae's burial methods.
Oh, yeah. They were entombed.
They were entombed so that they weren't.
Their bodies wouldn't be taken.
Yes. So.
By the Valg. Because there were battle scenes of the Valg.
Yeah.
Fighting the Fae at the Ascara Oasis.
Yeah.
And one thing that Duva was saying when she was confronting Chaol, Yrene, and had Hafiza was that they wanted to take Yrene alive.
Yeah.
And Chaol sees, and this is chapter 61, he sees Yrene as hope because Erwin is terrified of what she can do.
Yeah, he is. And I think Duva / the princess / even says that.
Yeah.
But so they go down there. First of all, there's also gold down there, Fae gold. Can we note that? Like, how long has that been there just sitting untouched?
Apparently just sitting there for quite a while since the Fae are no longer there.
Let's say at least, we're going to go at least 200 years. Since,
more.
Well, I was saying that because that's when we know the first healer, like the first Tor healer. So at least 200, but then the writings, word marks, I think they said it was like 1,500.
Something like that.
1,500 years or something like that.
Something like that. It was a long time. Long. Yeah.
Around plus 1,000 years.
Yeah. It was at least 1,000.
At least 1,000, I would say. So goes down there. Of course, Duva's like, I got your healer on high. I'm going to make you do whatever I want. Yrene, like, put on this ring. And the fact, speaking of the rings, the black little rings and the collars, the fact that Parrington, a.k.a. Erwin, was so snicky, he hid the black ring.
The word stone, it was coated in silver.
Yes. So that when he sent it as a wedding gift for Duva and her husband's wedding, it was disguised. Which
that's why Hussar wanted it too. She was like, but in the one moment that Duva decided to be selfish because she was described as a quiet, meek princess,
she wanted it.
She snatched the ring before Hussar could get it.
Yeah, again, like, could you imagine if Hussar was black?
Oh gosh, if she was, that would have been. Ooh,
that would bad. But anyways, my bad thought, Heather. Bad thought. Anyways, so and then Yrene's like, well, crap. I honestly thought she was tempted at one point.
Oh yeah, I think she was. She was definitely, because she didn't want to hurt the baby. She was about to kill Duva after she was knocked out, but she couldn't make herself do it.
Because she took an oath. It reminded me a little bit of Outlander, if any of you have watched Outlander.
Me and my sister love that show.
Yes. Where
Hi,
where like Claire, there's this one episode, and if you know, you know, it's later on when they're in the Americas and Claire gets kidnapped and everything.
Oh,
and
gosh. That's a bad episode.
And like, I forget who it was, but it wasn't one of the core group. Okay. And they were like, we've got them all lined up for you to kill, my lady. And Jamie's like, I'm her blade. She took an oath.
Yeah.
And so that reminded me a little bit of that dynamic because Yrene paused because she's like, I took an oath. Mm-hmm. I save lives. I do not take lives.
And Chaol was like, don't. He was dying. He was dying, and he said, don't.
Because he knew that would weigh on her conscience.
Yeah.
Even more so.
It weighed on her conscience. Her mom took a life for her to leave or run to.
A, it weighed on her conscience. And B, with him dying, he wouldn't be there to protect her from
Duva, should she.
That and whatever would have happened if she succeeded in killing Duva.
Yeah, because the Kagan would have been mad. He wouldn't have believed her that she was possessed.
No.
And then like that goes on to the healing of Chaol again.
Again.
He was
freaking Chaol.
Yeah, he was
stubborn man.
No, he was literally dying.
He was.
And no amount of healing would have saved him.
No, so then they made that pact, the pact.
Oh my gosh. It was okay. This is what it is.
What exactly is it? You tell me. Also, I stopped my notes at chapter 57 because I just got really into reading the book. So I'm going off memory.
Chapter 64, page 623. To keep his life tethered to this world, his life is now tethered to Yrene's, 2 lives sharing one thread, and Yrene's magic will serve as a brace for his body. But as her power depletes, his injury will regain control. If death claims one of them, then it claims the other.
Which, okay, Yrene, I get it, but also,
I mean, they do love each other. But
they do.
Chaol,
and it's like,
I will say though, Chaol's growth in this book is really great.
I hated him less in this book.
Yes. He did grow.
He did grow.
And the more I read this, the more I realize he is just suffering internally.
Angry.
He's very angry. He's very human again. But yeah. Going on from that though.
Duva.
Yeah.
Healing Duva.
Healing Duva. I love how like Argan was like, this is schemes. And then the healer in High was like, I was there, boy. Or whatever.
It was very much like a grandma, like, shut your mouth.
Getting her slipper out, you know. And then even Sartak was like, yeah, this is real. And then
Kashin.
He helped Sartak hold her down. And then Hasari even said, quiet, father, let her work. Or
because it was like the fact that a non-royal was able to be like, no. And then the healer on High was able to back it up. And even more so pulled out the grandma slipper in that sense.
I like Hafiza. She's great.
She's great. But it reminded me a little bit because, okay, she does get healed. Let's talk about that. She does get healed. It is a fight.
Yeah.
Because it's not, for Yrene at least, because it's not just a piece of flag or a piece of darkness like it was in Chaol. It is a true flag princess, which having seen the princess, we know that they're powerful. Yeah. Just as.
Better than the grunts.
Better than the grunts. So the fact that this was Yrene's first
attempt.
Yeah, that's a good word. That's a great word for it. Attempt, and she was able to dive in. It literally said she dove into Duva's subconscious and was like, hey, go away.
And I like how she called the princess pathetic.
Pathetic, yeah. Because it's a parasite, a pathetic parasite.
Yeah.
But then healed Duva, and the first thing that Duva's husband, do we know Duva's husband's name?
No.
Okay, it's just Duva's husband. Thank you.
Poor guy.
Poor guy. He doesn't get a name. But they're like the baby.
Yeah.
Because that's the other scary part. We haven't seen a pregnant person be taken over.
Yeah.
And vulnerable. So.
Well, it's luckily the first thing she did after healing
Duva
was check on the baby, and it was healthy and human.
Because could you imagine
getting pregnant while not in control of your body?
That. B, the then next step they would have to potentially do if the baby wasn't human. Because we have seen the horrors at Morath. Yeah. So when I first read that, I was like, shit, is there a possibility?
Like, could it be like a demon baby, like the yellow legs babies?
Yeah.
And that part just,
and unknowingly,
I know. It's a lot. And
it's a grape within itself.
It is. It's.
I say grape to make it a nicer
Thank you.
word.
Yeah, because apparently there are words we cannot say, and I agree with that one. But
it's an assault.
It is. It's hard to imagine that.
Yeah. Because then.
And imagine how the husband feels when he realizes, oh, she wasn't in control of her body when we did that.
Yeah. The healing. Talking about healing. The healing that they're going to have to do.
Yeah. Likely they're safe and sound now.
Yes.
And I can imagine.
There was a lot of breathing during that. I had to pause and be like, okay.
Yeah. This book can be very heavy. Out of all the book, I mean, the further along you get in the series, everything is heavy.
The books are.
But there are small instances like that that have a big, heaviness to it. Mm-hmm. And it's
the little kernel of hope.
Yeah.
We talk about hope again.
But after healing
yes,
Duva, the Kagan said, anything you want to your Yrene, and she asked for a favor.
Yeah, a favor.
And the favor was save my kingdom.
Save my people. Yeah. The fact that she said, save my kingdom, save my people, when at first she was like,
knew.
Like she associates but doesn't associate, but she's like, save my kingdom, save my people.
She wanted to go back to Finharo to make sure she can heal people from the war.
Yes.
And that's it. She didn't want to be a part of anything else.
Yes. But even Sartak was like, later on, like after this and everything, we found out Sartak went to his father and he's like, whether you approve this or not, I'm flying.
Yeah, with a host.
War.
Yeah. I'm flying with a host of rooks to this war. And then what was it? It was, swallowed that wrong.
You're good.
And it was chapter 66. Oh, I have it written down. It was told the Kagan he was following Nesryn to war with or without his permission because he loves her. The Kagan told him he should marry noble. And he said, Sartak was like, I won't marry a noble born for title of heir.
Yeah.
If that's what it takes to become heir, I don't want it. And he starts walking out the door and his father appoints him heir.
Yeah. And
that's when Delaro goes, after they kiss, I told you, father.
Although I like Nesryn's response was like, are you insane?
Yeah. Well, you don't tell no to the Kagan, I guess, unless he's your dad.
But then she tries to bow and Sartak, I'm reading it from my phone. Sartak gripped her shoulders tightly, stopped her before her head could even lower. Never from you. He said quietly, heir. He'd been made heir to all this land she loved, this land she still wished to explore so much it ached. We fly to war. Much is uncertain ahead, save for this. Save for what I feel for you. No demon army, no dark queen or king will change that. And she's like, you are heir. And he goes, we will go to war, Nesryn Faliq. And when we shatter Erwin and his armies, when the darkness is at last banished from this world, then you and I will fly back here together. Together. And so we shall remain for the rest of our days.
Yep. It was beautiful.
It was very beautiful.
I love them together.
I love them together. Yeah, we haven't gotten those, but they love each other. Speaking of that, wait, before I segue us to that, do you have anything else to add about this?
I have the note.
Okay, I don't want to get there yet. Don't want to get there yet.
From fumbled.
These two couples, okay, I was a little pissed.
Why?
Because they confess their love in a dangerous, moment.
Sartak is stuck in between a boulder and the pass, and he's like, I haven't even met you yet, I loved you.
Yeah.
Like, dude, don't tell her when you're about to die. Tell her before that.
Yes. Wait, where was it? It was, hold on, it may be. And
then Yrene told him when she was healing him.
Yeah. So it's chapter 47. Sartak was willing to sacrifice himself for Nesryn because they're running away from the spiders. And he goes, I loved you before I even set eyes on you.
Because of the stories he had heard.
Because of the stories. And I was like, dude, that's not the time to tell her.
No.
Because then he literally gets taken away. And then Yrene, when he's healing, and she's like, because I love you. And it's like, hello.
Well, maybe in that instance, it's kind of okay because he kind of needed the positivity there.
Yeah. But
also, what if he was like, ooh, I don't like you?
Exactly. I was just like, really? You two? This is not declaration of love. This is not how. It's a very nice declaration of love. But seriously? I was so pissed when Sartak said that in chapter 47. And
I actually kind of wasn't. But also, I agree with you at the same time.
And then he was taken away. And then it goes back into what goes into the story. So thankfully it doesn't go, Sarah J. Maas doesn't pull a Maas and goes into another chapter.
Yeah, she didn't have the chance to
say anything back.
She had to survive.
Yeah. And then she's like, well, how the hell am I going to rescue a prince?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The note.
So we don't actually get the reveal, but she on page 655, this is chapter 66 or 60 something.
It is 68.
Okay, 68. So page 655, she smiled down at the locket. The silver near blinding in the midday sun. I suppose I don't need my little note any longer. Why? Because I am not alone, she said, running her fingers over the metal. And because I found my courage. He kissed her cheek, but said nothing, blah, 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 blah. She removed the brown scrap. The wind tried to rip it from her fingers, but Yrene held tight, unfolding this slender fragment. Yrene scanned the text. I wonder if she'll return for this war. Whoever she was, she spoke of the empire like ...
Perhaps she will come home to fight from wherever she sailed off to.
Yeah, and then she offered him the piece of paper, and he unfolded the note and read the words he already knew were within.
Yeah.
For wherever you need to go, and then some, the world needs more healers. The waves quieted. The ship itself seemed to pause. Chaol glanced at Yrene, smiling serenely at the sea. Then to the note, to the handwriting he knew as well as his own. Yrene went still at the tears he could not stop from sliding down his face. What's wrong?
Yeah.
She would have been 16, nearly 17 then, and if she had been an Inish, it would have been on her way to the Red Desert to train with the silent assassins. The bruises Yrene had described, the beating Arabin Hamel had given her as punishment for freeing Rolf's slaves and wrecking Skull's Bay.
Skull's Bay again.
Yep. Chaol, for wherever you need to go, and then some. The world needs more healers. And then he calls it a gift from a queen who had seen another woman in hell and thought to reach a hand back a hand. And then he's
what do you want to say? A moment of kindness, a tug on a thread, because we've talked about that.
And then he says he'll tell her over lunch.
He goes on to say, and even Aelin could not have known that in saving a barmaid from those mercenaries, in teaching her to defend herself, in giving her that gold and this note, even Aelin could not have known or dreamed or guessed how that moment of kindness would be answered. Not just by a healer blessed by Silba herself, capable of wiping away the Vlag, but by the 300 healers who had come with her.
Over 1,000 rooks, over 1,000 shoulders, and that was only half the host because that other half was coming with cash in later.
Yes. And it was like, he's like, I'll tell you over lunch. And he says, keep it a while longer. I think there's someone who will want to see that.
And she's cute. I can't wait until that part in Kingdom of Ash. That one's
Neither
sad.
Can I. That was that. Aelin needed that in that moment.
Well, the last thing, though.
Yeah, well.
Is the last chapter. It's called Fireheart. Way to bring it back to Aelin, SJM. Like,
this is how you leave it, because then, okay, so you read the Fireheart chapter, and then it literally says the series continues in 2018. And it's literally like, I'll say maybe 2 pages total of Fireheart.
And it's just her waking up in the coffin and being dragged out of it. Yes. And then it's like, let's begin or something. Maeve said, time to begin, let's begin. Or
yeah, hold on, I'm looking. The queen's huntsman, grasped by the chains binding her, the queen's huntsman, the queen's blade. He hauled the princess upright, her body distant a distant aching thing. She did not want to slide back into this body, struggled against it, clawing for the flame in the darkness that now ebbed away from her like a morning tide. But the huntsman yanked her closer to that cruel, beautiful face, watching with a spider's smile.
Mm-hmm.
Let's begin.
It's always in the small descriptions. Always.
Which, okay, when I first read that, I was like, oh, that's kind of Snow White-esque. Because like the huntsman takes her out to the woods. Yeah. But again, reading these books back to back, for those who read that chapter and then had to wait, I am so very sorry.
Thank you for the apology, even though it's not your fault.
It is not. I'm apologizing. Sarah J. Maas, I'm apologizing on behalf of you to everyone.
But it was so worth the wait because our next book is 992 pages or something.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Which
that's going to be a long one.
it's going to be a long one. I even thought like maybe we split it into 3 parts.
We might have to split it into 3.
Yeah. Because we're going to have a lot to talk about.
We are going to have so much. I'll go through it and I'll text you about that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because I wonder, we'll figure it out offline. Sorry.
Yeah, we will.
I had thoughts.
Well,
go ahead.
Anything else to say?
Okay. I did want to Okay. Okay. So in chapter 29, Nesryn said this about Aelin, and we know Nesryn is like Team Aelin, 1,000%. There is no animosity there.
No. They're friends, for sure.
Yes, but she does say there were plans so long in the making that for someone who let the world deem her unchecked and brash, Aelin, showed a great deal of restraint of keeping it all hidden. Because that's how the world sees her.
Yeah.
And it's like, again, she's 18, 19.
Yeah, I think she's 19 now.
So for an 18, 19-year-old,
I think it ends when she's 20.
Yeah, to keep herself in check.
Yeah, that takes a lot.
That takes a lot of maturity.
Yeah, because when I was 18, 19, I was a dum-dum.
Yes.
With no sense of when to stop doing stupid things.
Yeah, but she's like, nope. The next thing I want to bring up is going back to Falcon and why he's with the Rux and everything. This comes back later on, and I just want to note it because we're going to have to talk about it a little bit. But spider silk.
Yeah.
He's bringing to light why he's there. He traded that at one point.
He wants to return his youth.
And he wants to return his youth because basically he sold his soul to the spider to get some spider silk so he can be a merchant and trade it and sell it and everything like that. And then he has found out since that if he kills the spider he made the deal with, that he can get his 20 years back.
Yeah.
Because he looks like a 40-year-old.
He looks like he's almost 50, but he's like 20-something.
Which, can we talk about for a second?
Huh.
How old's Lysandra?
Well, he was 7 when she was born.
Okay, that's right. So
because him and his brother have a big age gap.
That's right. I forgot about. But I was like,
yeah,
they're gonna be more like brother and sister than they are uncle and niece.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But then the spiders go on to. Well, it's not the spiders. Falcon said this long ago, or the Earth Mother said this long ago. A rip appeared in the world, in the very mountains that they're in.
Yeah. And that was the word gate. That was the word gate that Maeve came through.
Yes. Yes.
Because she's a storyteller like, what was his name? In Wendelin.
Yes.
I liked him a lot. What was his name? Dang. I'll remember after this.
Remember, and she's going to text me at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And then I did want to note that the Royals Oasis, it's a private refuge for the Royals, okay? But it's where the caves in the desert where the information of the Vlag possibly came to the tour, and it's known as the Royals Oasis.
Yeah. It was probably taken by a Kagan in the past because they knew what it was.
But it also made me wonder, not thinking ahead, what knowledge they had that they hadn't shared just yet.
True.
Because I'm like, if this is your royal oasis.
What did you know?
What did you know? What are you still hiding?
I mean, royals hide a lot. I mean, so there's some secrets.
Secrets are no fun unless you share with everyone. Okay, I want to go back and talk about chapter 38 just a little bit. Okay. And it's before it was very much he recognized his healing, what he needed to do to heal and everything, like in the sense of it's when he took his steps right before. Yeah. Okay. So Chaol's like, I'm sick of waiting for this Coggin. And so he had learned about the fire lances. And so he's like, I'm going to make moves.
Yeah, that was fun, him going in there.
It was very fun. And then he literally said, I wanted to note this. Your city to the Coggin. Your city is the greatest I have ever laid eyes upon. Your empire will be the standard by which all others should be measured.
Yep.
I stood on the wrong side of that line for too damn long, and it cost me everything. Do not make that same mistake. Now, we've only seen Chaol really say that to be so bold. Sorry. Yes. Be so bold to Dorian and even Aelin to an extent without him fearing that either Rowan or Aelin's going to, stab him. Maybe go, but the fact that he's like, I'm sick of this. Like, I need help in some way while we're still not sure if you're going to join us. So I want to get you some fire lances. And he's bold enough to say, don't make my same mistake.
Yeah. I do like that he did get bold, even though he got thrown out of that office.
Which is very sad.
I do like that he was bold enough to stand up in that moment because he knows that they need their support.
That, and if this is a little way he can help, which curious of how he's going to pay for them. But if this is, it says, the trunks. Yeah. But when I first read that, I was like, dude, with what money? And then he goes on to say the trunks.
The Coggin let me keep them.
One thing we didn't talk about, and I'm calling this out because Sarah J. Maas, I hope you're listening. Someone tag her in this specific part. Bort and Yrene, how do you say his name?
I say Borte and Yrene.
Yrene, okay.
But I could be saying it wrong.
I say Bort. I don't know why.
I do love their relationship.
Okay. I love their relationship. They're betrothed.
They're fun.
Bort has not disputed the betrothal, but hasn't embraced it either.
No.
But
I think they'd like to fight.
I think they like to fight too. They like, makeup spiciness. Anyways. Spicy time. But then we didn't talk about this, but then Bort and Yrene come back and save Sartok and Nesryn. And Bort was very Aelin-esque in this.
Oh yeah, she's wild like she is.
Yes, but in the sense of she was forbidden by her Hearth mother to go and help and go on this adventure. And then she's like, well, technically, since I'm betrothed, I can go to this Hearth mother and she can give me permission and everything. And Yrene is like, she confirmed our wedding date. So that's how this all came about.
Yep.
But we do see them in the next book. I will say that. But I want them to show up again.
No, if
they need
this
to show up
new
again.
book or whatever it's going to be, if there's any crossover and they're in it, oh heck yeah.
Yeah.
Because they would be the most entertaining couple if we got more of them.
Yes.
I feel like everyone would root for them and root for the enemies to lovers type deal with them. But they are so much fun.
They're so much fun. And I also want to know what the heck happened. I almost knocked over my can again. What the heck happened? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
During the races that they had before they were like, surprise, you're engaged.
That would be great if, aside from writing about the cadre and the 13, write about Bort and Yrene.
This is another prequel, Sarah J. Maas, or even like a couple chapters. It doesn't even have to be a prequel. Give us a couple chapters. Give us a novella. Or even like how Rebecca Yarros did it in a couple of her books where it was like, here's the book. And then like, here's Xaden's point of view from a couple chapters. Give us a couple chapters.
That would be great.
So I did also want to talk about Aelin and Yrene, how they met. Because in chapter 46, Yrene's telling Chaol what happened, essentially. It is so Aelin that, okay, she found Yrene. She saw that the mercenaries came back for this barmaid. She protected Yrene and then quickly showed her a couple things. And then Aelin told Yrene that she wanted me to have a controlled experience when the mercenaries' friends came around. And I was like, only Aelin would think that's a controlled experience.
Come on, Chaol. Why aren't you picking up on it? I guess because the world is so vast, it's hard to believe.
That's yeah. But I was like, only Aelin would think that's a controlled experience. Yep. But Bort would probably think that the same way. I think I call her Bort just because I think like she's so badass. I'm like Borte.
I don't know.
But then Yrene goes on to say, whoever she is, I think she was a god. Whoever she is, I will be forever grateful, is what Chaol says.
Mm-hmm.
So a little foreshadowing.
Well, then he is once he reads the note on the boat.
Yeah.
He calls it a gift.
It is a gift.
Yeah.
It very much is a gift.
It is.
Those are the last couple points we didn't get to that I need to be like, wait, we need to know this.
You're good. What do you rate it?
We don't do
just
halves,
part
right?
2.
What did I rate part 1, 2?
It was like 2. Wait, hold on. Oh, sorry.
You're fine. I want to say I rated it a 2.
Yeah, it was lower than mine. I did a 3.
And we don't do halves.
You did 2. I did 3. You could do half. You could do anything you want.
I was going to say 2.5, so it made the book a total of 4.5.
Mine's went up 0.2, 3.2.
I only did 0.5 because of the Aelin piece.
Yeah.
The Bort piece. Anyways. Okay.
So we are taking a break for Heather's so JD can come back. We are going to read The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Oh, heartbreaking.
I know. But that shall be JD's book. It's about 200 pages, so hopefully he'll like it.
I'll watch the movie.
I know, it's such a good movie. But have a happy day.
Like, subscribe, listen.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.